I need you to.
Welcome, everyone. It's Thursday night. You know what that means. Just a bit outside radio show live on the air. You're joining us on Facebook. You're joining us on YouTube. Thanks for sharing that link, sharing that love. Thanks for joining us live. And if you're not live, you're with us recorded. So thanks for running us back. You got some Thursday night football tonight. We're going to hit on the Ravens and the O's. And as always, you got Mark, you got Keisha.
Hey, what's going on? What's going on?
How's it going?
Ooh, Thursday night football, man. Thursday night football. Crazy game. Lots of drama involved.
I think it's going to be an important game too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. What's going on around town this week? Ooh, Thursday night football, man. Well, we got a little feedback going on there.
That's on your end, I think. It's on the phone's end.
I think it might be our guy, hey Taj. If you got the feed going, there's a little echo.
You got it. Sorry.
Nah, so might as well get into it then, Mark. We had just tonight. I got my main man Taj on the line. He currently has a little side hustle officiating sporting events. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're also going to talk about the Ravens. Big game this weekend against the Buffalo Bills. Ravens first time underdogs. Really? I don't know. Yeah. First time underdogs this season, right, Mark?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I am correct on that. I am correct. We were favorites against Miami. So yeah, we'll talk a little bit about everything. First things first, big news. You know I gotta start with my big news because I'm like in love with her. Super Bowl halftime show has been announced, and we got an icon performing, y'all. We got an icon performing. Some of y'all may know, but I have a slight obsession with Rihanna, and she is doing. Yes, that's right. El Boogie's trying to give me a side eye, but I'm, she knows. Everybody knows. Got to risk it all for Rihanna, but Rihanna is doing this year's halftime show, man. This year's halftime show, huge, big. I mean, as of the past couple of years, Rihanna has transcended into I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I'm going to say it, an icon. I mean, with the fashion and the beauty products, and honestly, I didn't think I would ever see Rihanna perform again. And she done went and had a baby. I mean, she's like Serena. She was just out there shaking and moving while pregnant and everything. And, you know, she hooked up with the A$AP Rocky. Yeah. You know my feelings about that, Mark. You know, it is what it is. Everything is still going with them, though. But, you know, like I said, very huge artist. Very big, bold selection by Super Bowl peoples, man. I mean, I'm really excited about that.
That's really incredible. I was surprised I didn't hear from you first. Like, you know, like a couple of leaks came out, like as it was being announced, but I'm surprised you weren't the first on my Facebook.
Man, probably because I was navigating through everybody hitting me up. It was like everybody hit me all at once. Like, yo, you girls, you do Super Bowl halftime show. And my phone, it's just so crazy when sporting events go down, certain things go down. It was like that when Kobe passed away. Like, my phone, when Serena announced her retirement, my phone, for certain people and certain things, my phone just explodes like no other. And that was one of the times, man. I mean, I've had so many people ask me, so you going? You going? So, Mark, I mean, I heard that the tickets are like thousands of dollars, and you know I want to go. And, you know, I'm thinking that I might get the people involved in this. You know what I mean? I'm actually thinking about starting up a GoFundMe or something. You know, I get OnlyFans or something. I don't know. I mean, you know, they got that Rachel Dolezal chick out there in Spokane got the OnlyFans. I mean, if she got an OnlyFans, Major Keith should have an OnlyFans.
I can't even make a joke on that, man. Man. I was going to say maybe you take Klarma and you like pay in installments, but Jesus.
Oh, man, that is hilarious. Hilarious. But yeah, if anybody wants to donate to me to get to that Super Bowl show, where's the Super Bowl this year, Mark?
I'm not sure even. We'll have to find that out.
I don't know why, but I thought it might be in Miami. Is that right?
That could be. Was it Arizona last year?
Or was it Arizona?
It might be Arizona this year, yeah.
I think it's Arizona. Okay, all right. Yeah, that's pretty freaking dope within itself, you know. I love Phoenix. It's great.
Stadium, yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah, man. And yeah, let's keep it moving. We're talking about music and Rihanna and everything like that. There was a big music festival that was supposed to be going down this weekend called Ocean's Calling down there in Ocean City on the Eastern Shore. For those who may not know and are listening, that festival has been canceled. Very upset because there was a lot of awesome acts that were going to be performing. Dave Matthews, Cyndi Lauper, Alanis Morissette, Logic, just to name a few. So this Hurricane Ian has changed courses and kind of upgraded itself in the process. So there's a lot going on as far as the hurricane is concerned, and with the planning of events. I'm pretty sure a lot of people know that, you know, they are currently thinking about rescheduling or moving. I shouldn't say rescheduling, moving the Tampa Bay game on Sunday. So, you know, unfortunately, you know, being up here, we're still being affected, I guess, by the tail end of it. So, yeah, big bummer.
You heard where they were thinking about moving.
I don't know if you've heard anything about that. But how did they come? Do you know how they came to the Minnesota conclusion? Because that shit just seems so weird to me.
The Minnesota conclusion regarding what?
Go ahead, Taj. Go ahead.
The Minnesota conclusion regarding what? I didn't catch that. Can you hear me?
Yeah, the Tampa Bay game, it might be moved from Tampa Bay because of Hurricane Ian up to Minnesota. For who are the Bucks playing? I don't even know.
Oh! I haven't heard anything about that. Minnesota Vikings, which is my team. I'm from Minnesota. For those that don't know, we play in London this Sunday. So
9:00 in the morning.
Yeah, so since that's one of the stadiums that's not going to be used, I guess that's how they do that. Because I know when we had an issue years ago when our dome collapsed, it was just more of what's the closest venue that wasn't going to be used that weekend. So that might have played a factor into that. Because I think our games, once it was rescheduled because of the collapsed dome, I think we ended up playing in Detroit when we were supposed to play at home, and then we ultimately went somewhere else during the season. I think that was back in 2015 or 2016.
Wow. Yeah, so it's a lot of planning and things going on. I don't think did they make an official announcement yet, Mark, as to if it's going to be moved there or not?
I don't think they've made it official yet.
Okay.
They probably want to. They'll probably wait until Saturday, I guess, is my guess.
Yeah.
To see how things go with the cleanup and everything. If the water recedes, because it's the flooding's pretty massive there, and the infrastructure.
Yeah.
Well over 2 million people without power by now, I think.
You said 2 million?
Yeah, last I saw it was 1.5 early, yesterday.
Holy
so
crap!
That's gone way up. Yeah.
Gone up. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Man, that's insane. And tis the season. I guess we're kind of like on the end of hurricane season, right? Because we're stepping into October. Yeah, it's fucking nuts. But hopefully everything works out for everybody down south and everybody's loved ones. Man, my parents they're traveling on Sunday. They're taking this cruise to Alaska, and they have a layover in Charlotte. So
oh wow,
that's kind of going down in that direction. So everybody's kind of on edge, for that region of the United States. So hopefully everything works out for a lot of people because man, it just seems like the past couple of years they can't catch a break. But yeah, so this is perfect. We talked about Minnesota. We talked about, officiating and doing this sort of things. Let's go ahead and segue our guest on into the show. Like I said, you guys, it's my homeboy Taj. He officiates different sporting events. So we just learned that he's from Minnesota. It's so crazy. If we're going to go just a bit outside real fast, talking about Minnesota and everything. Do you know what I'm going to say to you?
No, I don't. What you going to say?
Okay. Well, the big thing right now on Netflix is this crazy-ass Jeffrey Dahmer.
Oh, God.
Wait a minute. That's not Minnesota. That's Wisconsin. That's
okay, Wisconsin. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I was talking to Lauren today because they have an accent that's kind of close, too. To that area, and I was thinking that the guy was from Minnesota, but it's Milwaukee. Okay, all right. Hold on, let me correct you on that. People try to say that we all psychos, but so all right, so from Minnesota, my bad, my dude. Man, let's just talk about. So you currently do a little officiating on the side. Is it just basketball, or do you do other sports as well?
Yeah, I just do basketball right now. So everything from rec league, AAU type stuff during the summer, throughout the year, and then in high school, I'm a part of a Board 23, which is responsible for boys high school stuff in Baltimore County and also Anne Arundel County. And then I'm a part of a number of college, women's college staffs across the Eastern Shore Board. So, yeah. Oh, and there's a funny story with that because I was just talking about with your girl Allison about it, that when that Jeffrey Dahmer thing went down, I had just graduated from college and took my first job in Milwaukee. So that that had just happened when I moved to Milwaukee. It happened within like that first not too too long. I think it was a year or 2 years after that whole crazy incident with Jeffrey Dahmer and the story about all of that went down, and I had moved to Milwaukee around that same time after it happened. So it's funny that you mentioned that. So I kind of was there in the aftermath, but I can't claim that. That's not my people.
I say he puffed up his chest like, that's not us, but I lived there.
Right.
That's hilarious.
There's a lot of crazy stuff in Minnesota in the last 10 years that's been going down in Minnesota, and I have to accept. But we ain't gonna be taglined on some stuff that didn't even happen in our locale. So I can't claim that.
Okay, I think I was getting my M's mixed up because when I was talking to El Boogie earlier today, I was like, man, there's something about that Minnesota, man. They just can't get right. I referenced Fargo. I'm referencing Fargo and all these other like crazy ass.
I think it made the national news, because of all of the mental health issue and everything. We have a state fair that usually runs at the end of the summer from the second or third week of August through the first week of September. And I think on one of those, like the third or second to the last day of the state fair, some knucklehead, they started shooting. So I think that made national news, and I do have to claim that one. But thank God, I don't think too many people were injured. But it just is in symmetry with what's going on across the country. Everybody,
absolutely,
dealing with mental health issues.
Yeah,
and that's one of the unfortunate incidents that manifested itself in from where I'm from. So I do have to claim that one.
Oh, it's all good, man. It's all good. We love Minnesota. That new stadium that you guys have, I actually have a cousin who is responsible with some of the construction, IT side.
Nice.
And he spent he was out there for at least a year, helping with the setup of that. And he always kept me abreast of the progress and all of the neat ins and outs with the stadium. So I do, and he absolutely loved the area. I have yet to visit, but it's definitely on my list, especially to check out the Twins. Cause,
I know you're a big baseball fan.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
it's one, and they have a great stadium too. I have been to the Twins' new stadium. I think they opened that up about 12, 15 years ago. I'm not sure exactly, but I have not been to the new Vikings stadium, which has been open for about 5-6 years.
5-6 years. Yep.
Yeah, but my brother and I have a lot of friends from back home that's a part of they have a little group that they either do one or two of these things. They either go he has a big barbecue and tailgating at his house, and then they ride the train down to the stadium. They just did that last week with Detroit. And they posted everything on Facebook in terms of after the event and everything went down. And I was like, and they said, or it was posted as the 9th annual. So next year is going to be the 10th annual. So I'm like, oh man, I might have to go back, And,
you were big for the 10, right?
Yeah, since I never participated. Now he also has a group of people that go out of state sometimes. Typically once, sometimes twice a year. Last year, the Vikings played the Ravens here in Baltimore. So I was able to host a lot of the different things that a group of about 6 or 7 people came through, which was really nice. We had an Airbnb there on North Street, and we were just doing it big. And then I think we had another game playing Los Angeles Rams, and they have their new facility too. So they also did that. I wasn't able to go on to that trip, but they do things like that every now and then. So hopefully I'll be a part of that next year event where it'll be the 10th anniversary, and be a part of that. So
that's cool. Man, tell us how you got into officiating. Did you used to play basketball, high school, college level?
Yeah, high school, I played basketball, football, and golf. I was probably in football. I was probably the best at. I was all state in Minnesota as a defensive player. So I know, I was pretty good at the game. And my dad, he coached a lot of football and basketball. A lot of the stars from our neighborhood, and a few stars that you guys probably know. The Hall of Famer Dave Winfield.
Of course.
He coached him and a number of other people. And the thing about Dave Winfield that a lot of people don't know is he had offers to play in 3 professional sports: football, baseball. And there was a third one. I can't think. What was the third one? Basketball. Yeah, he got a contract to play basketball professionally, but ultimately he went on to play baseball. But yeah, in terms of how that manifested in officiating, I don't. It's strange because I hated officials. When I played.
Of course, everybody does, man. Everybody does.
Exactly. Everybody hates officials, and I was that same guy. During my playing days, I used to rag on the officials, and I was on that border of of receiving a penalty or something, or getting kicked out of the game or technical. I was always on that border, but always knew kind of when to scale it back a little bit when I was getting underneath the officials' nerves and everything. So
yeah.
About 13 years ago, I was a partner of mine that was also from Minnesota out here in Baltimore. He just mentioned to me, he's like, "Yo, I'm going to take this class to officiate basketball." I'm like, "What? You mean a referee?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Yeah," and I was like, we used to hate referees. Why you want to do that? He was like, "Oh man, it's just something to do." And I was kind of like, all right, well, I need the extra money at the time, and it's definitely good if you're looking for some tax-free revenue. There's a lot of different things that you can get into in terms of officiating, where everything is under the table, which isn't bad at all. So I took the class at the time. I think it was around 2009 to officiate high school basketball, and passed the test. Took the class. Passed the test at the end, and that kind of spurred me into really getting into it over the next few years, because I would go out and as a development trying to become a better official, you go out and see the people doing the big time games or doing the varsity games, and I looked at those officials and I looked at what they was doing on the court, and I was like, well, why can't that be me? I didn't think there was, even though I just started, I didn't think there was that much better than me. So kind of that passion of wanting to do better than the next person and be the best drove me to, ultimately doing what I do now in terms of going to college, doing college women's basketball, and also been invited to participate in the state tournament for boys high school the past 6 out of the past 6 years. So,
oh, that's fantastic. So let me ask you this. Can I ask you a question? Because I always think about this, and as far as referees and officiating at any level, because there's a certain level of physicality that comes with being a referee. I mean, you got to run up, especially with basketball, which is always moving. You got to run up and down the court. So, I mean, do you do any conditioning? Like, do you do any cardio? How do you go about preparing yourself for the basketball season?
Well, it's as we talked earlier before the show, I just recently had a baby, so this year has been kind of crazy in terms of preparation for the season. But in seasons past, I would kind of get on a pretty regular regimen in terms of working out and doing a little bit of cardio and stuff. And I haven't had that much problems because I've been active in sports all of my life, so it's not that difficult for my body to go back and forth, and so I will fluctuate, but it's not that difficult for myself to lose that weight. So I primarily, what I do is more watch my diet and what I eat, and I'm on a intermittent fasting where I only eat in between the hours of 12 and 8 p.m. That helps a lot. And then I also do before the camps and before the start of the season, and typically before the playoffs start, I would do a cleanse, the master cleanse, where I won't eat and I just do a liquid diet for like 14 days. So that helps me and keeps me fit and conditioned and throughout the year. But again, like I said, this year's been kind of crazy because the new member of the family, throwing everything off. So I got to adjust to the new normal. So,
is this first baby for you?
Absolutely, first biological.
Oh man, this is like this is ultimate training. If you ask me, I don't know about Mark. This is ultimate training. If anything, you're going to have stamina like a mug, man. Waking up at all hours of the night and continuing to live a regular life and go to work and things like that, man. It takes a lot of strength.
And exactly, that's the biggest thing. That lack of sleep and being woken up at hours that you really didn't expect. So I'm trying to adjust to that, but I'm loving every minute of it.
That's great. That's great. I think you said offline that the baby turned 1 month today, so congratulations to you and Allison on that, man. What a blessing.
Thank you.
What a blessing.
It. Thank you.
And, back to the officiating, you talked about the conditioning and whatnot. Let's talk about one of the tougher aspects. You said earlier that no one as a player we're never in love with officiating, and I want to take it a step further, and I'm pretty sure Mark will get a kick out of this. As a gambling degenerate, you never appreciate the officiating. Have you ever gotten into it with a player or a coach, and if so, what was that experience like?
Oh, absolutely. For those that don't know me, I got a lot of gray hair, so I don't get into it so much. The players kind of see me like as a grandpop, and I've been graying since I was 19. Actually, since I was like 15 years old. So I've always had gray hair. So I look older than I do. So I think that in itself and my size kind of garners the respect of the players on the court. So I never, I always talk to the players. I never had an official. Of course, there's some hot heads out there where they lose their temper. But that's easy. You just blow their whistle and get them out of the game. But in terms of my biggest challenges have been with coaches. I've had a number of run-in with coaches. Probably the biggest one happened a couple of years ago after the fall after COVID began, and it was up at Spooky Nook. It was an AAU tournament, and two rival teams. It was, I think the level was like 6th, 7th grade, but there was just a lot of energy between the two teams because one team was from Baltimore and the other team was from Philadelphia. And
God!
And the two entities was like one of the biggest. I think it was Team Durant from Baltimore, or they're kind of somewhere from DC, and then there's another group, I can't remember the name, from Baltimore, but it was one of the big AAU teams from Baltimore. And those teams were going at it. It was physical all game, and we tried to let them play as much as we could. It seemed like the coach for the DC team understood that, but the coach from the Baltimore team didn't understand it so much, and basically had to do what we did do and kick the assistant coach out of the game, we kicked the head coach out of the game. So the assistant took over the duties. And then I guess the assistant coach didn't. Now he's the head coach. He thinks that he can just do the same thing that the other head coach that just previously got kicked out of the game could do. And I was letting them know that, no, that's not doing that. That's why he got kicked out. So I mean, if you want to have and continue this game and be a respectable competition, then I advise you to check your attitude. We're not gonna have any disrespect. Once we're implanted in the game, we're there. Whether they like it or not, and whether it's right or wrong, they have to listen to us. So ultimately, he didn't agree with certain calls that we made or whatever we was doing at the time. I can't remember the details. And we kicked him out too, and we just ended the game because now they're down to no coaches, and we wasn't going to let the team, coach themselves. These kids are sixth grade, so. So after the game, what happened? The assistant coach came over to us, charged us because we're kind of the opposite of the table where we're actually posted up after the game. So we're going over to our table where we just post up and relax, get ready for the next game, whatever. And the assistant coach, and along with a number of the parents, come overcharging into our face, and there's other officials on my side that are breaking us up. And it's just crazy because this is during a period where, it's the start of COVID. Nobody really know what's going on. And
everybody screaming in each other's face.
Yeah, exactly. It was like that scene. It was like that scene from Break. I think the movie was called Breaking or something, or whatever, Breakout, or when there was some type of spread of virus disease that happened it's called Outbreak, I think.
Yeah. Outbreak, yeah.
And I think in one of those scenes, the guy was on an airplane, and then they show like the particles magnified, and you can see them floating in the air. I think that I felt that. I was reenacting that in real life in slow motion with this guy in my face trying to fight me, saying, "No, we ain't gonna do this." And in our exchange, game's over now, so I'm done. Like, you want to go man to man? Okay, I can verbal combat you with the best of them. So it was just a crazy situation. But luckily, no fisticuffs happened. It was sorted out. But unfortunately, I think that I did contract COVID because that next 2 weeks I had like a flu that would not go anywhere.
Man!
And then I actually got tested, but the test came back inconclusive. So it was crazy. It was a crazy interaction. But it happens all the time. But as I get older and more versed, and of course in college, then I wouldn't have been able to conduct myself that way in a college game, obviously. But the older you get and the wiser you become, you get to a point where you know what to say, how to say it to make it not even go to that point where people are charging you. So but yeah, that's probably the craziest thing in terms of interactions with coaches. But again, that's just one of many I could fill a book with, because there's been many incidents.
And you said that was like middle school, right?
Oh yeah,
you said like 6th, 7th grade. That's nuts.
6th, 7th grade. It's like these kids, the parents of these kids think these kids are playing for scholarships or something. At that time, right there, like the coach, like the big time coach, like Mike Krzyzewski, is right there in the stands or something. They're gonna have him sign on the dotted line or something. It's crazy, we kid ourselves in the refereeing community all the time about the seriousness, and it seems like you would think that it's no big deal, but the younger these players are, the more involved the parents are, and the more vocal and boisterous and disrespectful the parents can get. So it's kind of funny. You would think that would happen in high school. Nope. The younger you get, it seems like that happens.
Dang it. Dig it. Well, we got a game tonight, you guys. Let's take a few minutes, and Taj, if you don't mind, you mind talking about this Thursday night football game between the Dolphins and the Bengals?
Absolutely.
Okay, all right. Fantastic. Well, we know there's a little controversy going on with this game. The very awesome, I feel like re-emerging Marcus Mariota, right? The Miami Dolphins, making them look like legit AFC contenders.
Sure.
Yeah, oh my God, Tua. Oh my God.
Yeah, I thought he played for Atlanta.
I'm sorry, Mariota plays for look, you guys, I am so off today. It's been a long day.
Yeah.
He does play for Atlanta. That's my fault.
Okay.
Mark, thank you. Thank you very much. My comrade, my major slice of pizza. Christ almighty. I'm going to get it together, you guys. All right, sorry. Tua, my man Tua down there in Miami, Tyreek Hill. He had a pretty big knock to the head on Sunday for the game. When he attempted to get up, he kind of stumbled down, and then of course we do the concussion protocols. Apparently the story is, which I really don't believe, that the player told him that his back was hurting, not necessarily his head. So they send him back out in the game. Now everybody's like, what the hell? This guy was barely standing. What are you guys doing? More investigations and whatnot. I do not believe that they have made a decision if they're going to play. I think it's a game time decision tonight at, 8:15, 8:20. Mark, have you heard anything about him playing tonight?
I have not heard one way or the other yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking at the game, or I'm looking at the pregame right now, and I thought
saw him out there?
I thought I saw him out there warming up.
Oh,
It's an hour before the game, so I thought he was out there throwing balls, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything, but I don't know.
Yeah. Talk about the other side of the ball. We've got Cincinnati Bengals. Their season did not start off as planned. Joe Burrows and the Cincinnati Bengals represented the AFC in the Super Bowl championship. The beginning of this season is starting off kind of rocky. They definitely don't look like, as of right now, to me, they don't look like AFC championship contenders. Nonetheless, making it to the Super Bowl. Mark, let me ask you, man, what are you looking for in tonight's game outside of Marcus? God, why am I doing this again? Tua, outside of Tua playing tonight.
Like I said earlier, I think this is a pretty important game. The Dolphins, they're coming off wins against the Ravens, their wins against the Bills, and it's the games that you're expected to win that always catch you, like trap games, And I think this is going to be their biggest test, not because the level of quality in their opponent. I think they're definitely so far better than the Bengals. But coming off that win against the Bills, can they regroup? Can they carry that same momentum? Can they show that they're legitimate? And that's the biggest thing I'm looking for. Like, can they keep that quality of play up?
Absolutely. Tosh, what you looking for tonight, man?
I don't have a dog in either race. I'm just looking for a good game. They got right now. I see they're doing a pregame. The receiver Chase. Which broke, I know, a number of Bengals rookie records as a receiver, maybe even a couple NFL records, or got close to breaking them. So I'm just looking for a big game out of him, and hopefully, I'm looking actually for whether he's ready or not, or past the protocols or not. I want to see Tua. I want to see Tua do the same thing to Cincinnati like they did to the Ravens in that fourth quarter there. So I just want to see an offensive explosion. I don't, when I watch teams and it's not my team, I don't want to see, and I don't have money on it. If I have money on it, it might be a different thing. But since I don't have money on this game and I don't have a horse in the race, I just want to see a lot of offense.
Okay. Mark, were you about to say something?
Harry's on the feed. He says that Tua is active.
Oh, shit.
That still doesn't necessarily mean he'll start the game. I don't know, but I imagine he will.
Okay, well, there you have it. I mean, my man Taj said he's looking for a offensive explosion. Well, let me just tell you this, Taj. You're gonna get it, buddy. And I'm going with the first easy money. Have I done an easy money pick yet this season, Mark?
I don't think so.
I don't think I've done one.
Uh-oh.
All right, Major Keisha's first easy money pick of the night or of the season. I'm sorry. What are we kicking off week 4 here? All right, took me a couple weeks to evaluate, and I think I'm ready to start, giving you guys the tips to make some money. So whether we have Tua under center or the backup, which happens to be Teddy Bridgewater, who's not horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and as of right now, nobody's afraid of the Bengals. And their only win is against the Jets. And, and even then, the Jets to me, they're horrible. I don't give a damn what anybody says. They're horrible. They even let the Jets score 12 points. This is a defense. The Bengals defense is one of the things I'm looking for them to do this season if they want to make it in the AFC North. You've got to tighten up on defense. Okay? You gave up 20 points to Pittsburgh, who I don't even know is playing on that team right now. You gave up 17 points to a Dakless Dallas. They're about to face a team who's feeling themselves on offense, right? Okay? Yeah, shoot. I know for damn sure my man Tyreek Hill is definitely smelling himself right now because he has single-handedly turned this team around as far as, being a passing threat and also highlighting Tua's passing skills. And as fickle as the media is, that's why I hate them, even though we're a part of them some way. They'll hate you one second and love you the next. Now everybody's saying, "Oh, Tua is just so fantastic," and the Miami Dolphins is a threat. But 2 years ago, you still said that he couldn't play football. So, so they're definitely enjoying the new leadership, the new coaching, the new approach. And I'm not really sure that the Bengals will be able to handle this. Whether it be Tua under center or Teddy Bridgewater. I just really have not been impressed with Cincinnati's defense this season. Yeah. I think that, it'll be a closer game if Teddy Bridgewater plays, but if Tua gets out there, if he manages to come out and play this game, the Bengals will very well be sitting at the bottom of the AFC North and talk about a tale of 2 seasons. That'd be crazy. And Miami could be sitting at the top of this whole entire thing, right up there with the Eagles. Talk about some unusual suspects.
Yeah.
But I'm loving it, Mark. I'm loving it. I'm expecting a big game tonight. You guys, first easy money pick of the. I'm gonna give you 2 since it's the first one of the season. I'm gonna give you a 2-for-1. First one, I believe that the line for the Dolphins-Cincinnati game is Cincinnati as 4-point favorites. Take the underdog. Take the underdog. I don't know what the hell they are thinking about with making Cincinnati the favorite, that much of a favorite in the game. If you want to do it, I would have taken it at maybe -1. Maybe pick them, but 4 points, please. All right. Take the Dolphins. Take the Dolphins +4 and go with that over, baby. Lay it up, make it a 2-leg joint, and make you some money tonight. That's the easy money pick for tonight. Yeah. We're going to wrap this thing up because the game's going to be starting really soon. Let's talk about the Ravens. This is a big game this Sunday, going up against the Bills, going up to New York. No. Actually, no. New York's coming down here, right? We're home.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're home. Okay, so I think that helps us out immensely. There's been a lot of questions about our defense. Mark, we talked about our secondary last show. Another big test for these guys. Mark, who are you taking this weekend? I mean, go ahead and make that bold prediction, man, because...
Man, I mean...
Either way, it's going to be bold.
Yeah,
whether you go for the home or the against, because...
So, like, Lamar shook the Bills last season, got that victory over him, and that he wasn't able to get previously. And, you know, everything in me wants to say the Ravens. But I'm going to tell you what. The one thing that scares me is that Stephen A. Smith is looking for a huge game from Lamar. And whenever Stephen A. Smith says something, always go the opposite way.
Did he actually say that? Did he actually say that?
He did.
I'm surprised at that, because usually he be sounding like a Lamar hater, and
Right.
You know, if I didn't know any better, I'd think him and Josh Allen were dating. So I'm very surprised to hear that.
So whenever Stephen A. says something, I always try to run the opposite way. And, you know, Lamar is definitely the shining light of the team, but with those defensive problems and the Bills' high caliber offense, I think I got to go on the Bills on this one.
Oof, that's bold. Because I was going to say, I mean, if you go with the home team, you know, it's a bold prediction, because, I mean, it's a bold pick. You know, the Bills they're still looking good. And they have the Josh Allen, who is, you know, I mean, he's very close to being like the white boy Lamar, for real. Very close. You know, I mean, some people might not like that, but it's my show. I don't care. But yeah, Taj, let's talk about this secondary and this new defensive coordinator. I mean, you know, after the Miami game, there was a lot of people very upset. I mean, you know, we got back on track last week, but you could still see that there are some issues there in that secondary. How are you feeling about the new defensive coordinator and the decisions that he's been making so far?
Well, you know, I think that for most NFL teams during the season, you're just gonna have a stretch of consecutive quarters that you're gonna just throw everything out of the window. I think that's what happened to Baltimore a couple of weeks ago when they fell apart with Tua and them. And tape doesn't lie, you know, because what happens, you go in there a little high off the hog and think, especially on defense, and think, and they pretty much dominated that game when Miami came back, and you know, you can't fault anything in that first half.
Right.
So I think they just came out a little too lethargic, a little too not focused, and that was probably the best thing that would happen to that secondary, have a major fallout, and the time of season during the beginning of the season where, you know, it's really not going to affect you, where you can bounce back and you know where you need to, you know, it's not a playoff game that's going to bounce you out. It's
right.
not something that's affecting your seeding in the playoffs. So I think they're going to bounce back. I see, and you know, I would have favored Buffalo if you looked at it on paper before last week, but looking last week, if you see what that offense did in the second half, it was little to nothing. The Bills against the Dolphins, and so, you know, I'm not so convinced with Buffalo. I mean, I think they're going to be in the mix of things at the end of the season, but for this game right now, where they're at, I think the Ravens are going to be able to make those adjustments, play a little more focused throughout the game, and do what they need to do. And I don't think Buffalo is going to be able to contain Lamar. Lamar is always going to be the that X factor. You know, as he goes, so does the team. And you would have thought that would have held for that game against Miami a couple weeks ago. And you can't fault him or what he did. You know, it wasn't his fault. It was completely on the defensive collapse. But I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen one game removed from that. I just don't see that happening. So I would get an edge for to Baltimore.
Okay. So are you cool with the defensive coordinator right now? I mean, a lot of people are screaming, bring Wink back. It's only been 3 games. We haven't really seen a big sample set to make a decision. Are you comfortable with giving him a few more games before you pass judgment on the guy? What's his name, Mark? Defensive coordinator's name?
Mike McDonald, I think.
Mike McDonald, yeah. God, I didn't want to say. I was going to say Josh McDaniels. I know that shit. I'm off.
If that question's for me, I would say you can't jump ship after 3 games. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They've only lost 1. Pretty much, they only had to collapse a couple quarters there, where it had just a really bad stretch where they underestimated the speed of one individual, which is probably the fastest individual in the league. So I don't think you abandon what you start with at this point in time. So I say keep them.
Dig it. Well, like I said, they got a big test this Sunday against a major offensive threat in the NFL. So we'll see how these guys, how things shake out. I'm gonna go with the. Oh man, it's tough, but I'm gonna go with my heart rather than my head this time, and I'm gonna go with the Ravens too, man. We're back at home. We rarely ever, lose at home. And Mark, you also know what my stance is on 50-50 games, toss-up games, which I feel like this could be a toss-up game. I always go with the home team, so I'm going to stick with my guns and stick with my rules, and I'm going to go with the Ravens, man. I'm going to go with the Ravens. All right. Mark, you got any WTF moments of the week or anything like that before we end the show?
No WTFs, but I got a comment on the feed I wanted to highlight because Harry thinks
Sure.
like you a lot of the time. And I think this sums it up exactly. I think you'll agree 100%. If it comes down to coaching, Harbaugh will cost us the game.
Hey, man, my MVP listener, you're always on point. And I keep this the year. Harbaugh's going to be exposed, man. He's going to be exposed, and he's not doing a good goddamn job right now, to me, personally. But I cannot say, let's start the Harbaugh farewell party. Can't say that as yet. I can't say it yet. Because honestly, we're going to be stuck with the guy unless, by some, crazy sequence of events that we have a terrible season. But we're going to be stuck with them until that happens.
You've been throwing for years.
I know, man. I've been trying to start. I was just about to start that bandwagon back up after the Miami game, man. It pissed me off so bad. But that's a great comment, Professor. And I agree with you wholeheartedly on that one, man. Big ups to you, and thanks for tuning in tonight as always. Okay, I think that's just about it. Oh, one more big shout out. Can I do? Let me do one. And this is. I say this and I report this with a heavy heart, man. Somebody is retiring. Somebody is hanging up the mask, hanging up the mic, I guess I should say. Yo, man, big shout out to James Earl Jones retiring as the voice. James Earl Jones, the voice of Darth Vader. Okay, he retired. He's no longer doing any more Darth Vader things. I love the dark side. I love Darth Vader. Big shout out to him on that.
Now, you heard the deal with that, right?
No, what?
Are
you about to blow me?
He signed over rights to his voice to Disney so that they can continue using it for Darth Vader. There's this tech that they've used, like they used it in the Kenobi show. It's basically an AI generating his voice. He didn't record anything new for that Kenobi show. It was all this AI tech.
Holy crap!
He signed over his rights in perpetuity so that they can continue using his voice for Darth Vader.
Well, that's how you do it, Darren. Voice that never dies, huh?
Right. Give me those checks.
Right. My man said, I ain't gonna do this shit no more. But maybe I can still get paid.
Absolutely.
I love
I'm
it.
sure you got a good check. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's my big outside piece. You got anything else for us tonight, Mark?
Didn't you want to WTF me?
What was that on?
Yesterday.
What happened yesterday? Oh my God.
The exclusive
What happened yesterday?
that I snagged online.
What about the pizza?
No.
Oh my God, I'm
The
forgetting that.
shoes.
Oh my gosh, outsiders. Okay, this is a major come through for Mark. And I want everybody to congratulate Mark because he participated in his very first sneaker drop. And you know, I want to more so. I don't want to just congratulate Mark. I also want to congratulate his son. His dad is going to be super cool, and he can walk around with him in public. He got his, participate in his first sneaker drop. Hey, Mark, let people know what kind of kicks you got.
Got him up there on the screen now.
Okay,
you know, I'm a big
you're pretty
wrestling
dope.
fan. AEW did a collaboration with Daddario, I think is the name, Italian sneaker company, and dropped them exclusively on Champs. The Young Bucks tag team. It's their kicks. Only like 1,200 shoes were made, and they sold out fairly quick. So I was lucky to snag these, and my first time. So I guess in the immortal words of Two Live Crew, pop that. Oh, that's not appropriate. My shoe drop virginity was taken.
Hey man, for your first sneaker drop to be like an exclusive edition.
Yeah.
Pretty fucking dope.
Yeah.
That's pretty dope. Yeah, and you totally went just a bit outside. I mean, man, I haven't heard Chance in a long time. I'm about to go check them out.
Yeah.
When we get offline, see what kind of stuff they got. I'm always looking for the different. I always go outside the box when it comes to the kicks. Man, but I'm so proud of you, man, and welcome to 2022, for real.
Thank you.
But this one thing, the sneaker thing, no, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people out there that can sympathize with me on that. That is an expensive addiction. Okay, that's an expensive addiction. Sneaker drops, that can really boost that addiction. I mean, that's like the new drug, for real. Right. So. Make sure you tame that beast. I don't want you spending your rent money on the next retro J's that come out or some shit like that. So but congratulations, man. I'm so proud of you. Sneakers are fire. They fire for real.
And the Nike app even shows you when the drops are coming up and everything. It's crazy.
Yeah, Nike they are so horrible. They want to take all of your money and they will not leave you. All you have to do is buy one pair of shoes. And they will never leave you alone. They will never leave you alone, man. They will get all of your money. They're horrible. But awesome. All right, guys. Look, we're about to close this thing out. Watch this Thursday night football game. Oh, you know what? Really quickly. This is the last thing, and then we're going to get on out of here. And, Mark, you might think this is cool. We always talk about AMC. We're investors. We love the spot. We love movies.
Yeah.
Guess what AMC is doing? Did you get the newsletter about that? What AMC is doing on Thursday nights?
No.
They're showing the football games. Oh. So we talked last week about some of our seasoned loved ones who are having problems with streaming football games. This is a 100% Major Key certified alternative. If you are tired explaining how to stream or how to fire stick or how to connect and disconnect, just drop your folks off at the local that you can closest AMC. They can watch the football game on the big screen, get some popcorn, chill back in them reclining chairs. It's definitely a good look. And, shout out to AMC. Yeah, man. Shout out to AMC for finding out another way to get that money, too.
Yeah.
They said, shit, everybody getting on this streaming, we're going to get in on this, too. It's fantastic. It's wonderful. So, all right. Baltimore, you know how we end this show. Spread love, We are still in the midst of a pandemic. We still got lots of monkeypox and diseases going around. So you know what Major Key says. Wash your hands, wash your ass. Y'all have a great week. Be safe out there. The weather's going to be crazy. And we will see you guys next week. Talk about the end of an awesome season with the Baltimore Orioles. So sad. So freaking sad. All right. Thanks a lot, guys. I'm Keisha. That's Mark, my man Taj. Thank you so much. Love chopping it up with you. You guys have a great evening and good night.